Yep.
We're taking everything out of it except the flavor. So all
Nice.
the stuff stays behind, everything that's delicious goes forward.
And that's what that baby does.
It's got 5 windows on it, so there's a chamber behind every window.
Yep.
And that is the chamber where the alcohol liquid is separated from the vapor.
Nice.
And it repeats and repeats and repeats, and it takes about 6 hours, and it produces out of 1,000 liters still, we'll get about 200 liters of alcohol.
Whoa, that's a lot of
the primary distillation.
Yeah.
Then
Wow.
you gotta do it again, and you gotta refine it.
Yep.
In the
Nice.
secondary cycle, that's the magic of Okanagan spirits. That's where we separate the alcohols. So the first third is methanol acetone. The middle portion is ethanol, which is the good stuff, and the rest at the end is also drinkable, but it's a bit hard to call it tails because it comes out near the end.
Tail ends.
What we're dealing with at our distillery is we only use the middle.
Okay.
So the stuff in the front is chocolate.
Yeah.
Front,
Yeah.
or
Runs.
bad mornings.
Yeah, bad mornings. Yeah.
So we don't include methanol. No distillery really does.
Okay.
It's delicious, but chocolate. But the tails at the end are harsh. They are drinkable and they do have flavor, but we tend not to include those. We don't dip very far into the tails when we're collecting.
Yeah.
Because, especially with whiskey, but our products overall, there's an inherent smoothness in everything.
Yeah.
But with whiskeys, it's actually quite important here because of the aging. It's too hot and dry in the Okanagan to effectively age whiskey. Anything
yes.
6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
The volume of evaporation out of a barrel in Scotland, for example, might be 2 to 4% per year because of climate shift.
Yeah.
We use between 10 and 12.
Oh, I believe it because we get.
After 5 years, bottle, the barrel's half empty.
Yeah.
Woo. That's not good. No.
So this still in the middle here is unrelated to whiskey because this is where it does all the refining for the alcohol base that does our vodka, gin, and liqueurs.
Yep.
So we're distilling from apples in the first cycle in that, but once we collect enough, first cycle distillation, we'll fill this up because it's 2,000 liters. We got to run that 10 times-ish.
Yeah, yeah.
And we will be able to extract 300 liters of pure ethyl alcohol out of this by the time it's done. It takes about 20 hours.
Wow, that's pretty.
96% pure.
Are we allowed to look in that window, or is this a don't cross the line?
Oh, I can see it.
I'm going to say
Solution.
because it's operating and he's buzzing around, kind of like a state.
Yeah, I know.
Can I get this close?
Stay out of the boss's way.
So what you're looking at in there is the primary distillation, which will get refined into the pure ethanol. It looks like it's raining inside. So what I was saying about there's 5 chambers, it's not enough to refine the flavor out. You actually want flavor for whiskey or for brandy. But in the middle here, this is 50 times. So it's 10 times the refinement of what will happen in a 5-plate still. And that's going to result in no flavor because absolutely everything is taken out. We just want the alcohol.
Why are the towers so high?
Because if the chamber size is going to take up that minimum amount of space, that's a fairly common size for a distillery this size.
Into there?
Everything will lead out of this chamber into this first column, and we're going to start the refining all the way up.
Okay.
It's still going to turn out like if you went to the 5th window here or the 5th window there, it's still going to have the same degree of purity. It's that it continues on for 9 more groups of 5.
So cool.
That it eventually comes out
And
as a
you're
pure
all
vapor.
copper and stainless.
Yep. Anything this big in copper is unusual because of the cost of copper, but also that usually copper is used in distilling because it's a purifier.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the iron and the sulfur are pulled out with the other stuff.
Yep.
In
No
the second
toxins.
stage, copper is used because of the heat distribution, and it creates a faster refinement because of the effectiveness of spreading the heat.
I knew the first 2, didn't know that one.
Stainless steel or reflux distilling is different because you're going for the extraction of the alcohol. So let's say that you're looking at a reflux still and it's got a whole bunch of valves down the side like that one, those red toggles.
Yes, yeah.
As those are released, and ours don't, the scale of refining that we're doing, they don't change those because we're actually physically separating the alcohol. But in a reflux still, you can actually set those and they come out at the same alcohol distribution. You just keep refilling the tank and it runs and runs and runs and runs. And you just draw out the same alcohol at the same rate. It is from Gross Ubach, Germany.
Awesome.
It looks like he's waiting for us to get
Yes.
away. So.
We're out. Okay. Yeah. What a great.
The funny thing is, last
This is a mini tour. You guys got to show up here, eh?
climb right up and put his arm on it
No way.
Well, that's
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All this way, and he saw his favorite, name on the top of the still, and it's a company that's super famous in their town.
Okay.
He's very proud of it. It blew his mind when he saw that one,
I bet.
because there's only 2 of those in the world.
Wow. Okay.
One's right here.
I know about that one. And
No way. That's
So
awesome.
freaking cool.
Yeah, it's a wild world. I had another guy show up one day. Him and his wife came into a whiskey tour. And midway through the tour, he goes, I got blueprints on a flash drive in the back of my car. That thing. I was like, what?
Pardon?
So we finished their tour, and then I took him on a tour to answer
Super
a bunch
awesome.
of questions.
Yeah.
So it turns out the company in Aldergrove that designed that for a winery in Washington had come up with this theoretical still design. He didn't even know it was operating. He's like, we
It went
gave it
beyond
back to the guy,
theoretical
it got sent to
functional.
Germany, and that was
Yeah.
it. We're on to our next project, and he walked in and kind of blew his mind.
I worked for